And welcome back to Surviving in Present Day. Thank you for joining us again. My name is AJ Little and I am your host. Now, we left off with me letting you know that it is absolutely incorrect, I believe, that people say that they don't care what other people think about them. It's absolutely incorrect. You should, because it keeps you on the straight and narrow. It also keeps you community minded. You want your community, the people that know you, your neighbors, your family, you want everybody to be proud of the person that you are. And I think that's absolutely, positively just so important. And it might be a little shallow, but showing yourself in the best light and being your best self helps the community that you are embracing, that you're a part of, helps them know that you're going to be somebody who's a stand-up person, who's trying to do their best, who's always trying to do something. People can expect good things from you. And personally, I would rather people think of me and have a smile on their face than think of me and it's like, crap. Here comes that person again. Here they come again. And, let's try not to be that way. Now, growing up, it's amazing how things have changed. You knew growing up. Now, I'm 55, like I said, so I grew up in the early 70s, mid 80s, 90s, stuff like that. I knew every kid within a 5-block radius. I knew everybody that I can go, moment's notice, go to their house. Hey, can Jimmy come out and play? Jimmy was on restriction for some reason, because parents did put children on restriction. I grew up on restriction. I remember being in the house one whole summer because of stupid stuff, being a kid that you did, but my parents also didn't play. They said you was going on restriction, you better not leave that house. Because people used to whoop their kids. I whooped mine maybe twice in her life. But I grew up on whoopings. I remember. I had 4 other brothers and sisters, so we were constantly battling, doing something, trust me. But, like I was saying, within a 5-block radius, I knew any kid in the area that I can go and play and be outside with. It was just, amazing. Loved it. Loved growing up where I grew up and the people I grew up with. And I also miss sitting around the dinner table with those people, with my family. I miss family dinner. You better have your butt in seat, by 5:30, 6 o'clock when dinner was served. Otherwise you was going to get a whooping and had to sit there anyway and eat. But, sitting there with a sore butt wasn't all that good, trust me. I know. Done it a lot. When children had to wash their hands before they, came to the dinner table and stuff like that. And, and please and thank you was part of your meal. Could you pass the butter, please? Could you pass the bread, please? Mommy, Daddy, may I have another drink of water? May I have, milk? Whatever the case was, we used to sit around and actually have mealtime and conversation time, which is so important and which is totally missed in this day and age. It really is. I mean, I'm not saying that not everybody does that, but it is truly, truly amazing. I'm going to put it out there and say 80% of the households in the United States do not have regular mealtime, dinner time, sit around the table and talk time. Because that's just not how life is anymore. The things you expect from life and the ways that you expect things to change have. And it's no longer viable for people to sit around and talk and stuff like that the way we used to. And I really do miss that. And getting back to that would be, I think, absolutely awesome. We'd sit around, we'd joke, and, yeah. I mean, I was a horrible dinner child. I really was. I remember hitting my brothers between the eye with some Brussels sprouts and getting, setting up to my room. Nailed them right between the eye. That's right. Gotcha. No. I mean, that, that's kind of silly stuff, that I would do. But I'd still get in trouble, and my parents, no, they weren't having it. Get your butt up from this chair and go upstairs. No, you'll eat later. and then still had to come down, if it was my week to do the kitchen, still have to come down and do all that, take out the trash, mop the floor. I grew up in a family, there was 5 of us, but we had weekly chores. One person had vacuuming and dusting, one person had kitchen trash, another person had lawn, and everything else to do with that. One person had all the bathrooms plus laundry. So we grew up doing chores. Now, we were blessed enough, and, to parents, who actually gave us, an allowance. And it was a real allowance that, you can use. Had I been smart about it, I'd be rich right now, because I would have put that money away, But that's something for another time. But, yeah, I grew up doing chores, and chores that weren't done, yeah, you got in trouble for that. You got a butt whooping for that. You got punished for that. You got put on restriction. You weren't allowed to go out, see your friends, ride your bike, ride your skateboard and stuff like that. And I was pretty good at the skateboard. Thank you. But, yeah, there's all kinds of ways. And as you got older, you learned how to survive and do things. Some people, learned how to skate around the system, basically. And, not try to help their community. Other people, became community leaders, and we thank you, and you are blessed, and we appreciate you. But there's all kinds of things, when you were young, you had an ideal version of how your life is supposed to be like and supposed to turn out to be, and it's absolutely amazing that none of that has happened. I mean, there's been small victories and stuff, yes, and we learn about things every day, but learning how to survive. And it's a mind mechanism that you learn. And today, it's no joke. Surviving is harder today than it was 30 years ago when I was in my 20s. And it's weird that I can say that when I was in my 20s. That was over 30 years ago. I have been blessed to actually, grow up and be the person that I am. And I'm grateful. Do not get me wrong. I am grateful for all the experiences that I've had. Some of them, and they cost me dearly. But I'm grateful for that too, because that has made me who I am at 55 years of age, and I'm grateful that I'm here. Like I said, I'm grateful that I wake up every day, because I've done something that over 400,000 people around this world didn't do, and I am just ever loving grateful for that, and I appreciate it. Some people grow up, they go to college, but even in college, you're growing up, you're learning how to survive that particular world. And surviving in present day is all about the worlds that you have to survive. But what I'm also asking people to do is, share your experiences with somebody else. Bring somebody else along. Because some people, their method of surviving is just devastating to your psyche. It's devastating to your heart just to see them out there like that. You see your friends that you grew up with just totally blindsided by circumstances, and they may not know how to get out of that circumstance, but sometimes you can offer a solution that'll help, that'll get them thinking, that'll all of a sudden, boom, okay, yeah, I don't have to do it this way. I can do it that way. If somebody reaches out to you and say, "Hey, can you help me with this?" Hopefully you can say yes. I have now gotten to a point in my life where, yeah, I can say yes to certain things. But unfortunately, all your reaching out and stuff, it does have to come with the side of caution. Because people just aren't real anymore about what they can do, what they're going through, what they'd like to do. People still do try to fool other people, and I've been fooled, and like I said, it has cost me dearly. But now, I take everything with a grain of salt, basically. I step back. I have absolutely no problem saying, yeah, well, you know what? I don't know, but let me check. Here, give me a number where I can reach you. Or I actually may give them, have a couple of different cell phones. I might give them, not my personal cell phone that I talk to my family and my true friends with, but it's a cell phone that I answer every day. And we're also going to set up a line, set up a YouTube channel. Those people can call in and check in and, let me know how they're doing. Let me know if there's something that I can do for them. I have a whole lot of things that I want to do and hoping to accomplish. And like I said, I'm hoping to bring people along, and we can all do this together. It should be a worldwide community of people helping people, and that's true. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back about 25 years. This is just really quick. 25 years ago plus, I married my first husband. I was young and controlled because I believed that the husband was the head of the household and should control the money and everything else that was going along in the household. That's just the way I thought it should be. And, I grew up, watching my parents, love each other and protect each other and help each other. I guess my situation was a rarity, even back then, because, people, they get so involved with their feelings. Oh, I don't feel. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you want or feel. Especially once you start having children, your wants and your feelings, I'm not saying they need to go out the door, but you need to put them in check. Because raising a good child is a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do. I am grateful. I know my parents are grateful. I know my grandparents, my great-grandparents were grateful for the people that they raised. There's a lot of people, millions and millions of people all over this world that are grateful for the children that they raised. And some aren't. And for the ones that aren't, you're loved too. And for the children that are out there doing the wrong thing, you're loved. Believe it or not, you're loved. And if you need to reach out to somebody and say, hey, I don't feel loved. Could you help me? I need help. And let's try to figure all of this out together, because it's a lot, people. It is a lot, and I understand. And, like I said, going back, also had no problem putting money, in the bank, putting paycheck where it needed to go. There was bills to pay, rent, groceries, all that kind of stuff, cars and stuff like that. And even when I was in the military, I was, stationed in another town